Here we are in TrainSim World, and the purpose of this video is to talk about TrackIR and TrainSim World. TrainSim World does not support TrackIR, but it's not difficult to include it by using FreePIE, and FreePIE will then create a mouse emulation mode for TrackIR. So here I am looking around with TrackIR. It's not perfect. It is trying to use the mouse, which can get a little confusing, but with a little practice it becomes very fluid. Looking around outside the engine is very convenient, but you are, of course, here's the mouse, here's TrackIR. It's the same thing. Some of the problems with it, though, you'll notice it's a little jittery. I was moving around. If TrainSim World supported TrackIR, it would be a lot more fluid probably than this. And also, as you're learning to use it and getting comfortable with it, it can be a little confusing, mouse versus TrackIR. So for example, if I go to external view, here I am moving around with the mouse in external view. Well, here I am using my head in external view to move around. They're one and the same. Normally when I'm in external view, I will use the mouse to move around. But when I'm in the engine, I use my head to move around. So like I say, it gets a little confusing, but with practice it becomes very fluid. So how do you set it up? Like I said, it's very easy. You just need FreePIE. Here's the FreePIE program. I'm going to close it and I'm going to show how to do it. So go find FreePIE, Google it, and download it. It's very simple to find, very easy to find. It's open source, it's free. FreePIE is a keyboard mapper for game controllers. So kind of like Pinnacle, Auto Hotkeys. There's several other programs that do this. FreePIE is yet another of those type. But FreePIE actually has built-in support for TrackIR. So to do it, I'm going to run FreePIE. I'm going to download it, install it, and then run it. I'm going to assume you can figure out how to install it. It's not difficult. Then I'm going to open the script file. In this case, here's the script file, TrackIR to mouse.py. It uses Python. And the script file I have here is basically the script file from their website. I've modified a couple things on it, but what you see here, I have in Notepad++, is the script file. I have modified it to enable it all the time, so they normally had if enabled and hotkey, so in other words you'd have to press and hold a key in order for TrackIR to work. I have commented that out and instead just said if enabled, so in other words it will always be enabled. Same thing here, the hotkey was set as the mouse right button. The comment character is the pound sign. I have commented that line out so that it's always enabled because I want it to be always enabled in Train Simulator. And then I changed the key. The original script from their website used only the Z key to do the secondary enable, and I changed it to left control left shift Z. Although I never actually used that feature, I could have just as easily removed it from the script. I always have it enabled. In both methods of enabling are always enabled all the time while in Train Simulator. Anyway, again, you can copy this directly off their website. It's in their examples section, or I will include a link to a file that has it for you for the version that I have here. So again, you go to FreePIE, you load FreePIE, go File, Open, load the script file, and then you say Script, Run Script, or hit the F5 key. And now it's running. In fact, so right there, that's head movement, that's not mouse movement. Of course, before you run it, make sure you have your TrackIR software running first. If you don't, then you'll have to close this down, close FreePIE down, load TrackIR, and then load the FreePIE and run the script. FreePIE, when it runs, makes TrackIR think that it's FreeSpace 2. Why is that important? Because if you want to set up a specific profile for TrainSim World, set that profile under FreeSpace 2, and TrackIR will think that you're running FreeSpace 2, but your profile will work fine for TrainSim World. Of course, in the sim, it is only left, right, up, down. There is no forward, back. There is no head turning. So, you know, TrackIR has the 6 degrees of freedom, but in Train Simulator, there's only the 2 degrees of freedom which the mouse interface gives you. One more thing to do So you notice that the movement is a little jittery. That's because the minimum movement from the mouse is a step. So it's not fluid. If they had TrackIR support, it would be fluid, but because we're doing the mouse interface and because the mouse is not fluid, it's a little jittery. So to fix that, to improve it, you can't fix it, but to improve it, hit escape, go to settings, game controller, controller sensitivity. I believe the default is 5. Set it down to 1. Click apply. Back to the sim. And now it should be a little better. It's still a little jittery. I'm kind of not noticing it much anymore, but there is some jitteriness to it because of the way they've done the mouse, but that should improve it a little bit. So that's it. Any questions, ask in the description. And if you haven't tried TrackIR in Train Simulator or Train Sim World, I recommend it. It works really well in Train Simulator, and here's a way to add TrackIR emulation to Train Sim World.